How are you, my friend? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, man, nice to meet you too, Steve.
I appreciate you taking some time to talk with me. You must be the busiest man in Montreal right now.
We're a whole team, so I'm not the only one working
How
on that festival.
many's on the team, roughly?
Uh, of course, we do organize Palomosa, but we have a team that organize Picnic Electronic, Igloo Fest during winter time, Village Pied du Courant. So basically, with all the divisions we have, we're about 50 person
Okay.
working full time on all year long. But then on site, of course, we have what let's say between 600 and 700 employees because we're
Wow.
doing all the stuff. Apart from the food, let's see, we're going to do the technical stuff, the bars, production, security. It's all employees that we have and happy to have.
Yeah. So how long have you been involved in this industry yourself?
By about 20 years. We started Picnic Electronic in 2003. So of course it started, but it was really, really small. We had
Wow.
other jobs back then. But yeah, that's when we started working in events. As for my part, because when we founded the Picnic Electronic, we were four founders, four friends, music lovers that decided to change a bit of the event industry in order to take the electronic music out of nightclubs, raves, and everything, and all the prejudice that
Yeah.
comes with it, to make it during daytime in order for people to discover that kind of music. But of course, it got broader in styles, and Palomosa is one of the reasons
Yeah.
why we're getting there.
Well, I think picnic is like a perfect example of how something can go from like grassroots just for the
Yep,
people, and it was free to begin with, and then
it
it just
was not free, and people
really.
people thinks that it was free at the beginning, but it wasn't because our slogan was "Ça coûte juste 5 piastres." It only costs $5. So
Oh,
it never was free, but the people have that feeling because at $5 that was a pretty cheap options to have fun in a park in Montreal.
yeah, and it feels like it just grew really naturally, like
Yep.
through the love of music. It never felt like a corporate thing, you know?
Hmm.
And it's a
Yeah.
cool.
Of course, there was phases because I know some old school friends would say it got bigger, too big, too commercial. But at least I think we were able to keep that spirit, even though it's going bigger and bigger. It's the vibe of Montreal. There's a lot of people, any styles, ages, and everything. And we think, even though we're more, I would say, let's say, popular, it kept that spirit that we once had in order to organize those events.
So we mentioned picnic, we mentioned Igloo Fest. Obviously,
Yep.
Montreal kind of is quite famous for festivals,
Yep.
whether it's the Jazz Fest or Oshaga,
Mm-hmm.
um, even like Just for Laughs, which sadly wasn't happening this year.
Yep.
So what made you want to start another one? And
Uh,
what sets this one apart from the others?
was that silliness from us to start another festival? But the thing is that it's a brand new festival in terms of branding and bookings and everything else. But I'd say the ancestor of that festival is the MEG, the Montreal Electronic Groove that Mustafa Terki created more than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That was on the event industry for so long. Uh, we made a partnership in 2018 with Mustafa in order to revamp it and bring it to somewhere else, which what we did for a few years. But at some point, and because of COVID, I would say that the branding was fading out a bit. And we wanted to, because we were organizing Picnic Electronic and the Off Picnic, so we had a lot of events in electronic music, and we wanted to go a bit further in styles and vibe, and that's why we create that branding, Palomosa, in order to get out of our circle of electronic music. There's some electronic music in Palomosa, but the thing is that we wanted to go elsewhere. There's some good artists, sometimes unknown, pretty unknown to I would say commercial people. Uh, but what we wanted is to have, I would say, an artistic driven festival, see more a festival boutique. The target was also for us to have the students. There's a lot of students in Montreal. September means the back to school for
Right.
everybody in university, and that was our target. Of course, there's a lot of festival during the summertime. We know it, but to try to build something in September, I'd say not more for locals, but at some point, yeah, to get all those international students, which are residents, but they're a new public to reach, and that's why we were trying to do something. Meg was during the labor long weekend for the last 4 or 5 years, and we had to move it a bit further in September because of the back to school and the frosh and everything. We wanted to push it back a bit more in September and enjoy September as well. We know the last few years we can have really good weather up late in September, and
Yeah.
that's our target. So maybe the last festival of the year, bringing students, Montreal students, international students, to a brand new event, and that's the spirit we're working on.
Okay, cool. So for people who don't know about the festival yet, we'll tell them what they can expect, who's playing, and any that you're particularly looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm not the mastermind behind all the bookings, so I don't know all of them. But it was a good exercise for me to go and look after the bookings and see artists. Uh, what we wanted with that festival is to have a different vibe, a late summer vibe, but something I'd say a good groove for people to enjoy. And that's why there's a mix of all kinds of artists. It goes from hip hop, electronic, some pop music, some experimental jazzy stuff as well. So it's a wide variety of styles and that we want to showcase, but in a good vibe. Like I said, there's some hip hop, there's some stuff which is not usual artists that you see in big festivals. So that's why we wanted to go there. So, but you have to be open minded. I always say when you go to a festival, that's what I do when I go elsewhere. Be open minded to discovery. Just walk along. There's two stages. So if you don't like the first stage, try the other ones and follow and I'd say grab some piece and parts along the way during a beautiful day. And that's the spirit of a festival. You have the chance to discover some new artists, and that's what drives me for this one.
Yeah, that's the thing that I love about festivals is you go thinking you know what you're going to see and who
Yeah,
you're going to see, and then you end up seeing completely different people,
yeah,
and it's a better experience as a
yeah,
result, right?
yeah.
That's
And you discover new artists, and sometimes performance can change your line of sight, and you say, okay, oh, that's not what's it the usual music I'm usually exposed. Right, let's go and discover this, and then you can serve that. There's so many music nowadays. So to, even for me, even though after the bookings were revealed, I say, okay, I see, I'm discovering new style, and then you take time to listen what they're doing and what's their message and everything, and let's see, their path, artistic path. It's interesting, and at some point, even though sometimes it's a bit eclectic, you just discover that there's a link. I would say, at least mentally for me, between
yeah.
those artists.
Yeah, it's interesting, I think, especially with like this new generation that, you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
as students, like when I was a kid, I don't know what it was like for you, but you used to be like, okay, this is the metal group gang, this is
Yeah,
the pop gang, this is the punk,
yeah,
and you used to have your gang
yeah.
and people would like that music and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
But now with the new generation, it feels like people are just open to everything.
Yeah,
And much more
Mhm.
open-minded. It's a really
Yeah,
good thing to see, I think. It's really
yeah,
healthy.
and at some point, sometimes you were able to target and drag people because of that one style. But the label you put on the people is that it's more open mind. Even though in electronic music, DJs back in the days were doing one type of electronic music and stick to it and just develop around that style.
Yeah.
Nowadays, they mix and match all kinds of electronic music, which is brings the music elsewhere as well. So it's the same feeling for that festival. Sometimes you'll see something that you'll see a performance that you don't think is usually suits you, but you can find something deeper in their artistic views that will bring you somewhere else, and then you can just act like a bee and like I said, grasp some stuff you like.
Yeah. So with this festival, you've got like the two main days, which are Friday and Saturday, but you've also
Yep.
got the welcoming party
Yep.
on Thursday. Why did you decide to do that?
It was like, but nothing. It's part of the festival. It's an appetizer for people. A black party. It's a trend as well. The last few years, sometimes you have those big artist stages, but you do something for people local. You don't know if everybody will be in town or not on a Thursday night, but still a party on the island. It's I Classified, which is a really cool artist that we've
Yeah.
been showcasing for for years. So it will be a really cool vibe to start the festival before doing a whole day long to the event. Of course, it's easier on Friday to start early. On Thursday, there's more people working, so that's why it's a block party. Yeah,
So high classifieds there on Thursday.
yeah.
Um, how important is it for you to involve the Montreal music scene in this festival?
Um, like in all festival that we're doing, they picnic, and Eagle Fest they start grassroots. It was artists from Montreal for the first 4 or 5 years. There was no international DJ, so the spirit, how we our picnic and Eagle Festival was because of the Montreal scene, and it's still today. But at some point, we got more and more international DJs, and that's why we had for both events a second stage with mainly the artists. And up till today, about 60% of Picnic and Eagle Fest bookings are from Montreal. Of course, when you start a new festival, you want to make your mark and get more international DJs. So there's still some local ones, but it will grow with the year. The first year we needed to have, I would say, a good lineup in order to interest people, and then of course we'll construct. But of course, it's our roots. For Eagle Fest, it's 12 nights at the events, 20 events and bars and locations and venues. For Picnic, it's more than 40 dates during the summertime. Those artists are really important. That's people that grows, and sometimes they start a Picnic or Igloo Fest and then play elsewhere. We like to showcase them and encourage and to offer them a place where they can play in front of sometimes thousands of people, which is not possible indoors in Montreal.
Yeah.
There's not that much possibilities, which we have for Picnic and Eagle Fest during the summertime and winter time. Yeah, of course, like I said, the block party, it's local. On the second stage as well, we have some artists, but this year was a bit more, I'd say, pinpoint on electronic, something on the international artists to start that first edition.
Okay, that's cool. So you already mentioned that you're going to do another one. Um, was that always the plan? That you would do this one, but also look forward? And are you already starting to book artists for next year?
No, we haven't. We have to see exactly, but when you start a new festival, it will take a couple of years, sometimes more, to get the reputation and people to understand what's your artistic views on it and the feeling. So there's the first batch. We need to experience it, and then the word of mouth will grow and grow. So we know we're not yet on the bookings for next year, but really happy to do this one thing. That's the first thing
Yeah,
first.
one at a time. So, recently we've heard a lot of news about big tours being cancelled because of ticket
Yep.
sales or downgraded. Festivals, a lot of festivals are not making it to the finish line. They're having
Yep.
to cancel. What's been the biggest challenges for you with this festival?
Um, by that's see, we knew by not being during the summertime that it would be harder to start. Of course, you need to work more. It's a new branding. People, even though people knows that we organize some serious events with Picnic and Igloo Fest, they don't sometimes don't know that we're behind Palomosa. It's a branding, so it has to be, let's say, more known to people. So it's a lot of work and investment in the image of the festival at first, but then in promotion and word of mouth and work on that. So it was a bit tougher than we thought, but we knew that it was going toward that way. There's also things that nowadays there's a lot of festival, and there was a purge a few years before the COVID where big festivals had to shut down. It's the case in UK this summer. There's a lot of cancellation because the cost increased so much since COVID. So that's a reality. And at some point, sometimes if there's too many festivals, maybe the festival goers thinks differently, and sometimes you need to adapt. But like I said, we're working on the back to school portion. That's our guess. We don't know exactly what will happen and how it will turn out and how it will evolve. But for us, that was the natural, I would say, evolution of the Meg, and that's what we thought at some point. See, a few years ago, see, we were going towards more and more towards rap and hip hop because it got more and more popular. So
Yeah.
it's sometimes urban music blended with electronic music. That makes sense. That's why we're going towards that way. But after a while, like I said, COVID slowed down our process. We rethought of how we wanted to do it, and the good vibe was something we wanted to stick with in order to evolve in a more open mind and the all the inclusivity, diversity stuff. That's the kind of stuff we're going towards, and that's a cool vibe for a late summer festival.
Do you get to enjoy the festival yourself?
Yeah,
Or
of
are you just
course.
working?
No. Of course, I'll be working, but I'm not the. I've done it. I've done logistic for 14 years, so I was on field working. Nowadays, my role has changed. So during the day, even though I'm working a bit, I take the time to enjoy the DJs, the artists, of course, because I'm a music lover still.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you get to enjoy after all the hard work. And
Yeah,
when do you get a day off on Sunday?
yeah. On Sunday, yeah, I will.
So tell people where they can find out about this festival.
Of course, you go. The website is the best place to have all the information about the artist. So it's palomosa.com, Palomosa.com. You'll have more information. But if you go, there is of course an Instagram. There's a Facebook site as well, and they'll see. Like I said, because all the bookings are really diverse. So click on their link with the artist to discover some good and new music for your ears.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, Montreal is going to be there. We're going to be um doing a review of the festival. So we're looking forward to it. It looks like the weather's going to be good as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. See, like I said, it's a guess because in September you never know. But so far so good. Around what 24, 25 degrees. That's perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Well, I hope you have a great weekend, and
Thanks a lot.
I'll let you get back to work because I'm sure you've
Yeah,
got things to do. But thank you very
I
much
might
for
see you there.
your time. Yeah, thanks for your time, though.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure.
Okay. Thanks.